We knew some snow was coming north and west of Philadelphia, but we didn't know it would be this much. We thought Philadelphia would escape unscathed. It did not. It is the storm that came out of nowhere. And for the next half hour, how the tri-state area is coping. Monday night. And the big story on Action News tonight is the latest on our winter storm. And as we look live at the Schuylkill Expressway from Sky 6, one of the big stories today, the brutal traffic problems throughout our area, and that picture says it all. Traffic at a standstill, both east and west on the Schuylkill Expressway and the Vine Street Expressway feeding into and coming off of it. Most of the major arteries have been either very slow or at a standstill. Now let's look at I-95, and this has been a real problem spot for most of the afternoon. Traffic backed up all the way to the Delaware state line. Traffic trouble was not limited to major roadways today. Let's take a look at the scene at 50th and City Avenue as commercial vehicles had as much trouble as smaller passenger cars. It has been an absolute mess, perhaps because so many people were caught so unaware. Let's get the latest information on the storm from Accu-Weather and Dave Roberts. Dave, what is the current status of the snow, and what about the next several hours?
Well, Jim, the next several hours are the key here. We're in the, as I look now, the flakes are a lot lighter now, so we're on the back end of it, and things are starting to break up. I want to show you exactly what happened, why we picked up more snow than anticipated, and this is how it goes down. There's a low-pressure disturbance there off the coast with plenty of moisture. That moved away quicker as we set it in motion. It just intensified, allowing the cold air to move in a lot faster. We had that rain early this morning. Most of us, with the cold air coming in, a quick turnover to snow. Let's take a look at some of the totals now. Philadelphia thus far showing 3 inches. King of Prussia, 12 inches. You can see areas not too far apart with a great difference in snow totals. Willow Grove, 8 inches. Allentown, 13 inches of snow. Folks in Trenton picked up 3 inches. Doylestown, 9 inches of snow. Pottstown, 10 inches. And Springtown, 14 inches of snow. Let's go to Action Radar. And Action Radar, as we set it in motion, watch the white area there. You see it almost moving west to east, just kind of slowly moving around. Another area around Pittsburgh, that's going to fall apart and not reach us. Our concern is what we're into right now. Let's go to Street Spotter 6. And it is slick out here as we go even closer. But you see those blue areas popping up, areas where the temperature is starting to rise just a little bit there, and it's turning over. But this area around Glassboro, Hamilton, and Woodbury, all snow now, but it's of the lighter variety, and that's good news. Well, what's ahead? What can we expect out of this whole thing? Here's the call from Accu-Weather. Heavy snow ending anytime between now and 7 p.m. You folks north and west, though, it's going to hang on longer up there between 6 and 9 p.m., the time frame for the snow to start to end. We're live here on City Avenue. We've been on this spot since about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Within the past 4 minutes, Jim, a huge City of Philadelphia salt truck went by. This area has been iced all afternoon. They just put some salt down, so the trucks are now out there. The traffic is still heavy, but as soon as most of the people get home, then the trucks will continue to do their job. So a coat of salt down, but still, take a look. It is still very, very icy. We'll be back with the rest of the Accu-Weather forecast, the 5-day, and talk more about when we get relief. And you won't believe the 5-day forecast. At the end of the week, we could be close to 50 degrees. I'm ready for that. Jim?
Thank you, David. So are we. Of course, the snow, the slush, and the ice have led to dozens and dozens of accidents. One of the most serious was on the Platte Bridge just before 1 o'clock this afternoon. The accident forced a truck on top of the median divider and shut down the bridge in both directions. It is still shut at this hour. Now, let's check in with John Valerio at Smart Traveler Operations Center. John, have you ever seen an evening rush hour with more problems than what we've had today?
Jim, I have not. I've been doing traffic for 12, 13 years. I have never seen this or anything close to this. You mentioned the Platte Bridge. It is still closed because of that early afternoon accident. And, of course, we have traffic along I-95, very, very heavy in front of the airport because of that. Let's take a Sky 6 look at some of the heavy traffic we have out there on the Schuylkill Expressway. Standstill traffic. Westbound, basically, we are standstill from there all the way out to the Turnpike. We'll start here at South, and we'll head just a little bit further west, as you showed just a short time ago. It continues standstill past the Vine Expressway and continues that way past City Avenue. And we had one of our mobile units, as I said earlier, drive westbound on the Schuylkill from City Avenue just to Conshohocken and take 3 hours to do that. So as you can see, standstill traffic out there on the Schuylkill Expressway, and extremely heavy, very, very slow commute. Also the report of lots of icy spots too on and off ramps. Take a look at Route 42 at Creek Road. Things are moving just a little bit better in this area. It appears that this roadway has been taken care of. Once again, though, on and off ramps, very, very icy. The sign says it all, really. Roadway is slippery. Slow way down. Use caution if you can. 42 southbound is slow from the Whitman Bridge down past this area at Creek Road. We do want to take a look at I-95 just through Chester, Delaware County. Sky 6 showing us that in this area, I-95 has greatly improved. We were extremely heavy from the Commodore Barry Bridge up through this area, but as you can see, traffic's starting to improve now. Some people finally getting home, and rush hour starting to ease up just a bit. But further northbound, we are very heavy past the Philadelphia International Airport. Again, because of the Platte Bridge continuing with their closure. Now, we do want to go to maps to remind you that the R3 West Trenton line service has been suspended because of downed trees at the Meadowbrook Station area. In addition to that, all other regional rails still looking at about a 45-minute delay because of the weather. And bus routes have been affected as well. 35 and 131 service has been suspended. I'm John Valerio for Channel 6 Action News. Jim, back to you.
Thank you, John. Now we have a major problem in one of the suburban area's largest school districts. In Radnor School District, we have 1,200 students who are caught inside school buildings right now. John DeFlaminis is the superintendent of the Radnor school system. John, can you describe to us the situation and what you're trying to do about it?
Yes, thanks, Jim. I appreciate the chance to alert parents this way. We've had a number of things happen as a result of the unanticipated weather. In fact, we subscribed to Accu-Weather, which told us we were not going to have very much snow this morning.
Don't rub it in, John.
And we let our bus drivers go home after the morning runs, and were unable to bring them back any earlier than the afternoon runs. And by that time, of course, we were in the midst of chaos here. Their traffic conditions have been awful, and there have been lots of accidents and downed conditions, and what that's done is it's held up our buses even getting out into the side streets to get children home. So we have children stranded still at the elementaries and the middle school. We've fed them. We've been keeping them safe and comfortable. We've had them call their parents to let them know that they're okay, and principals and teachers are still with them. It's very, very, very difficult. Parents are very worried, and we're concerned as well.
All right, well, we're trying to...
The buses bring the children home. It will be a few hours, and patience is really critical. But the buses will get there. They will get every child home, and that should be safer than really congesting the roads any further or taking the risk of an automobile having an accident getting to the school.
So, in fact, you're asking parents not to come to the schools, but just wait for the kids to come home by bus.
We would never tell a parent that they couldn't come, but we believe that given the congestion that's still out there, that it's better to let the buses move, and they can get the children home if they can get through the traffic.
All right, John DeFlaminis explaining the situation where some 1,200 students, 800 elementary and 400 middle school students are still in their school buildings in the Radnor Middle School. The buses will eventually get these kids home, so parents try to relieve that anxiety. Everything is okay. All the kids are okay, and they will be home tonight, perhaps in time to do some homework. Thank you, John. Now let's switch live to Action News reporter David Henry in Center City, Philadelphia. Dave, as you know, Center City was supposed to be spared most of the snow, if not all of the snow today. It didn't quite work out that way.
It certainly didn't, Jim, and as a result, the city was certainly caught off guard. They were expecting the storm to start somewhere around 4 o'clock. They had been tracking it for 36 hours, thought it would start around 4 o'clock. So in the meantime, they had the trucks out that would normally do snow removal and salting. They were out doing other things like picking up trash and repairing potholes. But then the snow started falling much earlier than expected, around noon, and by 1 o'clock, the streets were covered with heavy slush and ice. This was the scene on Green Lane, one of the many hills of Manioc. Some cars made it up, others backed down and turned around. The city sent a dozen salt trucks out around noon, mostly on the northeast and northwest sections of the city. By 1, they had 75 trucks out, but the snow piled up faster than they could get to it. There were numerous fender benders and